Okay, so this is method 2 of anime head modeling. We're going to go ahead and create a polygon plane, just like we did before. So both of these methods are using the edge extrusion method. There is another method called box modeling, which I use for the torso and for a lot of things. I like to start with box modeling as kind of a basic, approach to it. But for this particular method in dealing with really organic shapes, I find that the edge extrusion method is better because you can control what you're doing a lot easier. Alright, so this time I have 2 in the subdivision width and height. And let's see here. I think we're good where we are. We're going to go ahead and delete this set here. Edit, duplicate special. Remember, instance at -1. We are centered on the grid. Apply, close, good to go. Once again, keep in mind that we are let's see. We are in X-ray mode. Sorry, trying to focus. Okay. Now you're going to notice a significant difference here. You know, even in starting out. Okay. Similar technique. We grab all these rows here. We drag it forwards. Okay. This goes to about right there. We grab the second row here, drag it forwards. To about right there. And the final row, we will again drag forwards. This one comes a little ahead, this one comes here, and we'll move both of those to there. Okay? So now, we'll create what's eventually going to be the nose. Okay. And now we need to go ahead and create some depth, which we will do here. Okay. But you will quickly notice that, we're using a similar mask technique. Okay, we're creating that sort of mask, but we are not we're not doing it the way that we were doing it before, where we defined a nice edge flow for the eyes here and a nice edge flow for the mouth, because we're not actually going to be making geometrical mouths and eyes for meshes. We're actually going to use I guess you call the sticker method, which is an interesting concept and works pretty well. I've seen a lot of game models doing it. That's where I got the system. Normals, soft edge. We also want to keep using this method. We want to keep things fairly flat on the face. We don't want to get too much bend, because you'll understand when we get further into it why that is. Let's go ahead and bring this down. Same thing. Hit the G key. Of course, I do recommend that you watch the previous tutorial, because it's a very similar method. So a lot of what I'm doing I already did in that tutorial. We're just, going through it a little bit quicker. So that's pretty decent there. Alright. And this time we can go ahead and make a quad by doing this. here's what we'll do. We'll just bring that up. So that should work. V-snap, V-snap, V-snap. Holding down V snaps point to point. Edit mesh merge. And when you merge with a threshold of 0.001. It's usually pretty good, and you'll know if we did that correct when we go to normal soften edge if it disappears. Notice that the hard edge disappeared. So now if I move this around, it moves the whole mesh because it merged it together, which is what we want. Okay? Alright. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time perfectly shaping this out because it doesn't matter a whole lot for what we're doing. Anime characters you get away with a lot because they are they only need to look good from certain angles. For what we're doing, I think this will work. Let's see. So we want one more edge loop. We're going to put it right here, and then we're going to turn that down some so that we can get that sort of a look. Okay. So that works pretty well. And that's going to give us, you know, our basic, that. Okay, cool. Similarly, grab all the way here. We're going to extrude along where the skull would be. Hit G, extrude along where the skull would be. Hit G. And so on and so forth. Keeping in mind that we want to stay as low poly as possible. So, you know, just enough to get the shape that we're looking for. Okay. I'm going to say that's pretty decent where we are. Maybe we'll increase that to that. Okay. And then you see how quick and easy it is to, you know, do things like this. V snap point to point, edit mesh merge, wireframe unshaded. Let's make it down a little bit. Hold down V, snap it, and so we have a triangle now, so we can kill that by adding an edge loop here for a little more roundedness, and then we simply put that in here, and that works. Okay, so let's take that, edit mesh, merge, and you get the idea. So at this point I would probably use the soft mod tool to get a little bit better shape what we're doing. Maybe bring this down and bring in a little bit of that so we get some of that cheek doing what we want it to do. And then normal, soften edge. Let's take a look at that in 3. That's similar to what we want. Okay. So anyway, we have a nice quadrangulated model, you know, with you know, nothing too excessive or anything like that. You know, you would just, you know, make it look prettier. And of course you would fill this in, you would put an ear here. You know, that could be done any number of ways, but we're not going to belabor that too much. Okay, we're going to pretend like we're done. So say, alright, well, I'm happy with that. Let's delete it. And we're just going to worry about this here. We're going to grab all the way here. Okay. This item here. And that'll work. Let's go ahead and create UVs based on camera. Windows, UV texture editor, 2 UVs. We're going to click this button here that has 2 blue circles. And you're going to notice that this is all blue. That's what we want. Now we're going to unfold, okay, so that we get a nice even spread of UVs. We're going to go to face mode, hit the Q key so that we're out. Select this, and now we're going to shift select over the model, which will give us the selection that we weren't too worried about. Hold down the control key so that we're not selecting what we don't want to select, and then we're just going to look at this right here. Create UVs based on camera. 2 UVs. You'll notice we have a little bit of weirdness up here, so we're just going to go to unfold, and it unfolds it nice and easy for us. Okay, make it a little bit smaller. And then we're going to grab what's left, go to face mode, grab this, and create UVs based on camera. 2 UVs, unfold it so it's nice and easy. Okay, cool. So this is actually all going to be one object, and this is going to be one object. Alright, so now we're going to mesh and mirror geometry, normals, soften edge. Okay. Now let's see. Let's go ahead. Actually, let's undo that. Let's add an edge loop in right here so that we get a little bit more of a actual nose, because we're going to want that. Okay. So let's go ahead and duplicate special so we can see what we're doing. And we're going to want that out maybe like that. Okay. Alright, that's not too bad. So you say, why did we do that? Well, you're going to see in a little bit. We're not too worried about what this does or cheeks or any of that stuff, because again, we're not going to be deforming the head per se. We're going to be slapping stickers on it. Alright, so this time we want to grab this and create UVs based on camera, 2 UV. And that's going to go over here with these items. Okay, so now delete that, mesh, mirror geometry. Remember, we're going to pretend like this is filled in and we have an ear and all that good stuff, because it really doesn't matter. Okay, so we're going to go to alpha stuff, which I will explain in a little bit. We're going to grab all these items and we're going to scale this way down and stick it here. In fact, yeah, that's what we're going to do. Well, we'll position it later on. We'll go to UVs, scale it way down, whoops, and we're going to move it over the shade. Okay, so all of our shaded items are in this block of color here, and all of our non-shaded items are in this block of color here. Alright, and then we're going to select this object, and we're going to assign a new material, and we're going to make a what is called surface shader. Okay, and we're going to go to surface shader. We're going to call it the skin shader. Out color, file. Okay, and I'll show you the difference when we do this. We'll go to face texture, Windows, UV texture editor, textures. There we go. Okay, and this is why we did what we did. Okay, so let's turn shading wireframe unshaded off, and you will notice that we're getting a sort of a shaded look. Okay, and this is controllable because it is based on actual geometry. So if we want to control what the shadow is doing, we can actually control the mesh and create a different look for the shadow. For instance, let's say we don't want it to be that far up there. We can position it like that, and then, you know, reduce it in certain shots, and then go back to where we were, and that kind of thing. But anyway, in this particular instance, I definitely don't want it that far in. So maybe let's take this object here. In fact, let's go ahead and delete all this. Let's still have some work to do. Edits, let's go ahead and duplicate special, so that works. Okay, and remember that we're using our edge flow to define where the shadow would be, you know, so we don't have to paint anything. And then this would go all the way down, and then, you know, it would match. So we're you know, we have kind of a shaded, shadowy effect, which is basically what anime heads do. All this would be in shade, all this is color. You say, okay, that's cool, but what about the eyes? You know, we're going to address the eyes now. This is the magic of like 2D game style heads. Okay, so let's hit 3, see what that looks like. Okay, let's hit 1. Alright, cool. Now, we're going to go to Facial Stuff Group, hit Shift H, and this is where the magic comes into play. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is I'll show you the technique that we're using. Basically, we have various eye types. You have different colors that are going to create things like pure black, pure white, the shades on the eyebrows and the hair, and the skin and the skin shade, and then you have little things like smiles and different shaped mouths and that kind of thing. And also, using various base colors, I was able to create things like this. So let's go ahead and create the basic eye. Oh, while I'm here, I'll show you this as well. Windows, animation editors, blend shape. Okay. What I did was I created a blend shape, which uses this as a morph target. So basically what ends up happening is this blinks. Okay. So it's actually capable of blinking using that, or we could just turn the visibility and go from this to this. But anyway, we'll take this object, duplicate it, and we'll snap it to the eye, bring it forwards, and then we're going to look right here, and let's see, so that's about right. We're going to want to rotate it down some, and we're just positioning it about where we think it would be. Let's go ahead and turn shading wireframe unshaded on. Okay, so we're going to want this to start to bulge out a little bit. Now you understand why we were keeping things as relatively flat as possible, because that's what allowed us to you know, get away with what we're trying to do. So now let's go ahead and duplicate this, group it, scale it in -X. Okay. Insert. Hold down the X on the group. As I was saying, scale it -X, modify, freeze transformations, good to go. Let's take this object here, duplicate it, hit V, and once again we will line it up. So you kind of see what we're doing, the concept. Okay. That's good enough. Go ahead and duplicate it, group it. Make sure the group is on center of the grid. Scale it -x, modify for each transformations. And let's just say, for instance, we want this. So we'll duplicate that, snap it. And we can make it as big or small as we want. Okay, so let's shading wireframe unshaded off. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, we'll throw that mouth in a layer. Let's take the smile, pop that on there. And you see how easy we created literally nothing. Like this, when I started this tutorial, it was like there's nothing here. There's nothing on the screen, and all this was created using from what you've seen. I can rotate it from different angles. I can take like I can pick a locator or a joint or something, and I could shading. Let's see, wireframe unshaded. I could snap it to here, and then duplicate another one, and snap that to there, and then duplicate another one, and snap that to there. And then let's say like this is parented to this, which is parented to this, right? And so now, shading wireframe unshaded, we can have, okay, and that is parented to that. So let's say now that, you can do that, you can do that, you can have it, do that kind of thing, and the list goes on and on and on. We'll leave that for now because it's, kind of cool. So anyway, that's doable, and of course all that can switch to that, and then just you would just key the visibility so that it turns on and off and everything else. You could take the smile object and just position that. Let's see, let's get the general area. It's pretty decent. Which again is geometry. So we don't have to worry about texture, resolution being too low, and not being able to see the smile. So the closer we get all the way in, it's an actual piece of geometry. So we can go all the way in and see it. So now when she smirks, she's literally smirking. Okay, and we will see it just as we want. And if you want to make it, do something weird like one of those cat kind of things they do, I guess you could hit 3 maybe, and then probably like scale that in or something, and you get that sort of cat meow look, whatever they do. So as you can see, it gives you a lot of options, and the list goes on and on and on. You take this object, you can pop it in front of that, and put that there, duplicate that. You take the actual eyebrows, you could shoot them up and as high or as far as you possibly want. Like, that would be difficult to do in blend shapes, doing something like that and having them go crazy, like, to that extent. And it's all doable, and I can take all these objects and get pretty nice, interesting results, doing pretty much whatever I want. So let's go back all the way. Okay, and let's just shading, wireframe unshaded. Let's show our locators so we're not seeing them, and let's just show that for a bit. So we have, that would be like, you know, Holo's head. By the way, the character, of course, being Holo, the wise wolf. Maybe we'll just make that a little bit smaller since we're in whatever mode. This is in like the sub D mode thing. We'll just, so it looks better. Okay. So there you go. And then when we take a look at that render-wise, you will see that it looks pretty good. Okay, and we can zoom all the way in, and we don't have to worry about trying to paint directly on the mesh, and we don't have to worry about changing expressions, and we can do all kinds of really fun, wacky, you know, crazy, wacky, insane things. And once again, this system uses this technique. Okay. And if you ever are curious about where this came from, you can study the effect in game models. If you want to rip some game models and look at their textures, you can see that they do this. They set PNGs with alpha channels up, and they just have various eyes, except they have like 50 of them. I only did like 2 just for this demonstration. And then different shades and colors for effects like this can be done just with basic shades. Alright, so I hope that helps. Once again, thank you guys for watching my videos, and I hope that that answers the question on some of the people that were asking about how to create anime style characters and cartoon type. Okay, you guys have a great day. Thank you very much.